Indy Mogul.
Hey everyone, my name is Zack and this is the first episode of Backyard Effects during War Movie Month.
War Movie Month.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make a flamethrower. The flamethrower, one of the coolest weapons to take out an enemy who's hiding in a hole, and one of my personal favorite war weapons. Now, it's been used in movies many times, but a personal favorite of mine is when it was used in The Watchmen. Now, I'm going to show you how to make the flamethrower with the tank and the gun included, and then give you tips on how to use it, so it actually looks like you're spraying fire on everybody. To find out how much this flamethrower is going to cost, we're going to cut to Puppet Zack, and he's going to tell us how much we have to spend. Oh yeah! Tupperware bowls, PVC valve, spray paints, a cheap backpack, toy gun, a hose sprayer, 4 1/4-inch PVC L pieces, 2 1/4-inch PVC connectors, 3-inch PVC connector, random PVC parts I had for free, 2 small caps, a kitchen sink hose, 4 circle clamps, zip ties, 4 air conditioning duct caps, large air conditioning duct piece, empty 2-liter bottle, 1/4-inch PVC pipe, metal tin snips, hot glue, and a Dremel.
This build's difficulty level is 7.
Super time lapse. Woo!
The first thing I did was cut the PVC pipe into pieces to make a frame, then took the L-shaped connection pieces and put it together. Then I used the frame to figure out how big the tanks on the back were going to be, and then cut the air conditioning duct to match. Then I trimmed the edges to make sure they weren't sharp. Once cut, I took the circle clamps and tightened the duct to the duct caps. I did this on both sides. Then I hot glued the Tupperware bowls to the top and bottom, and then glued the small cap on top. I had to do this whole technique twice to make 2 tanks. I then zip tied the tanks to the PVC frame using the circle clamps around the tank ends. I made sure to use 4 zip ties per tank so they wouldn't fall off. I then cut a small piece of PVC that was the same length as the PVC valve and glued them both in between the tanks. Then I assembled another valve-looking thing out of the random PVC pieces to create something that looked like this. I then hot glued the 2-liter bottle to that. Once that was dry, I used some scrap foam and glued the 2-liter bottle to the tanks. Then I took the whole thing and painted it with a couple coats of black spray paint. While the tanks were drying, I started to make the gun. I took a small piece of the PVC and glued it to the hose sprayer. Then I took the toy gun and attached a scrap piece of PVC to it. You don't need to follow this part exactly, any toy gun here will work. I then took the large PVC connector and glued it together with the top of an old flashlight that I cut apart with the Dremel. Once those were dry, I glued all these pieces together with a wooden dowel inside for support. Then I painted it with a gray primer color. While the gun was drying, I cut up the cheap backpack and got ready to zip tie it to the frame for the tank. I stuck 2 zip ties in each hole that I made on the backpack so I could make sure that it wouldn't fall apart. Once that was done, I made a stencil for the tank and sprayed it on, and then added detail paints like rust and scratches. I added the same silver scratch technique to the gun once it was dry. The final step is putting the kitchen hose onto the gun and tank. I used a lot of hot glue here so it didn't come apart when I was filming with it. And there you have it, a flamethrower. And there it is! You got your flamethrower. I'm burning the whole studio. Now, when you're filming this on your set, make sure you have a practical light source shining on the actors, so when you digitally add flames in later, it'll actually look like the flames are really there, because if you don't add the practical light source, the flames will look very fake, because, you know, fire gives off light, so just common sense, really. Also, don't go out into public with this on, especially if you make it look as realistic as, you know, a movie prop should look. And that is it for the first episode of War Movie Month. Now, we're not going to have a test film for this episode specifically, or the other two for that matter, because we're going to do one epic test film that will air at the end of the month instead of your effects. So we'll be showing clips and then a trailer and then the final thing at the end, but today there's no test film. So leave a comment below, let me know what you thought of the episode and the Flamethrower. And this episode is the newest episode of Back at Effects. And for those who don't know, this is a contest that we're doing this month. It's a film contest for War Movie Month. So you go to that one to see the details, and go to that one to see the newest episode of Back at Effects. So, the contest though, it was announced last week.
Hey, if you want to add some cool dynamics to your shots, try adjusting the focus on something really close or really far away, and then experiment with having your actor walk around in the shot. It can add a really cool effect if you do it right.